Questions?
Thank you.
Gar, your statement, you say it's in the best interest of the organization to not renew Ron's contract. Can you elaborate on that?
You know, Casey, I really can't. I think with any type of personnel decision, I think it's best said, left unsaid, you know, as far as why decisions are made. So I don't think it does anybody any good to go into specifics, and that would be with any type of personnel decision we make, you know, whether it's a player or anything else.
So Gar, does the GM, do you have does the head coach hire his assistant coaches? And is that typical throughout the NBA if he doesn't? I'm sorry, Gary. Does Tom have the ability to hire and fire his own coaches?
At the end of the day, Tom is going to recommend who he wants hired. At the end of the day, I've got final say over personnel as far as coaches. But in the past, obviously, you know, if I felt comfortable with it and Tom wanted a guy, that's the direction we're going to go.
Gar, do you have any issue with Ron's on-the-court performance?
Again, Casey, I don't, you know, like I said in the statement, you know, we want to thank Ron for what he's brought to the table, and we want to wish him the best of luck in the future. But to go into detail, you know, the thing about it is we make, you know, tens, if not hundreds of decisions every year. And we make decisions on everything from free agency to trades, to draft that we just went through, to different personnel within the organization. We make a lot of different decisions. And you know, when we make a decision like this, I don't think it serves anybody well to go into detail of why the decision was made. The decision was made by me because I felt it was the best decision for the Bulls moving forward. And that's, at the end of the day, those are the decisions that I have to make. I've got to make, whether it's personnel or players or whatever it may be, there's a process in place. There's obviously a lot of talk, a lot of communication with our staff, and then I've got to make decisions that I feel are best for the Bulls moving forward.
Were you at all worried about Tom's reaction to the decision?
Tom and I talk about it, you know. Tom and I talk about it, and we talk about, you know, Tom and I communicate on a consistent basis, on a daily basis, as far as all those decisions I'm talking about. And at the end of the day, you know, there's times where I may make decisions that Tom doesn't totally agree with. There may be times where Tom makes decisions that I don't totally agree with. It's like that, I think, in any business. I'm sure it's like that at the Tribune. I'm sure it's like that in your family with your wife. I'm sure you don't agree with every decision each other makes. The key thing to me is, at the end of the day, that a decision, I've got to make decisions that I feel are best for the Bulls organization, that we communicate, we talk about decisions, and once a decision is made, we unite and we continue to move forward. We've got a lot of positive things, I feel, on the horizon for this basketball team. And, you know, we've talked about, I think we're on the upward swing. Obviously, the key is getting our guys back and healthy and on the floor. We've got an opportunity a year from now to have some flexibility in order to continue to add to our team. But we like our team where it's at today, and we've talked about that. So I'm getting long-winded with the answer to your question, but at the end of the day, a decision is made, then we unite, then we move forward.
Regarding immediate plans to replace Ron, and also what was the status of the rest of the staff moving forward?
The rest of the staff remains in place and under contract. As far as, you know, adding to the staff, that's something we'll be discussing here, you know, over the next couple of days and weeks, how we want to address that. Yeah.
Gar, you mentioned there are times when you make a decision, Tom doesn't agree with it, or you know, Tom makes a decision and you don't agree with it. Is it fair to say that Tom did not agree with this decision?
Again, I don't want to, you know, here's what I don't want to get into, is, like I said, Andy, we make tens, if not hundreds of decisions every year. I don't think we want to evaluate every decision, who's on board, we communicate about every decision, okay? And at the end of the day, I've got to make the decisions I feel are best for this organization moving forward. We'll unite and we'll move forward. Tom obviously makes the decisions on the floor. He's our head coach. I think he's as good a coach as there is in the NBA. I think he does a great job. Do I agree with absolutely every decision he makes? We'll communicate, probably not. But at the end of the day, I'm going to support decisions he makes, and I think he's going to support decisions that I make. And again, as long as once they're made, we unite and move forward, because the goal is to continue to get this team better and to compete for a championship as we move forward.
Gar, have you been able to talk to Nate's camp yet, and then what has Nate meant for the organization?
Yeah, I have, and again, it's so early in the process, but obviously, that process just started, late last night or midnight last night, and we've been on the phone with quite a few guys this morning, and obviously there's interest because we've got a very good team, and we're in a great market with great fans and have a chance to have success. But usually, it takes a while to see where the market's going, especially when you're not talking about max type guys. Sometimes those will break a little bit earlier. Obviously, we're not in that game this summer.
Is there someone on the current coaching staff who will be promoted to the lead assistant?
Yeah, again, that's something, over the next couple days or a couple weeks, something we'll be discussing, as far as staffing. But at this point, we haven't done anything.
Gar, you've got a very coaching staff. I think everybody's in agreement with that. But can this affect continuity, or, in your opinion, is continuity, while important, is it overrated?
Well, again, that's where, I don't want to go into details. What I will say is, at the end of the day, I made a decision I feel is best for the Bulls moving forward. And the decision was made, and like I said, now we move forward.
Gar, we know about the team's luxury tax situation. There's an impression that you guys would only be going after minimum salary players. If the right person became available, would you use the mid-level exception?
Well, we can't use the full mid-level because we're a tax team. There's something now called a mini mid-level. That's something we talk about all the time, and we haven't cut off that option. Again, I think it's still a feeling out period as far as what the market is and what players are available. But at this point, we're limited because of being in the tax. But within that, I think we'll look at every avenue that we have in order to get better. I don't know if that answers your question.
Gar, you talk about uniting and moving forward. Tom doesn't want to talk about this. I think you probably prefer not to talk about this. How would this affect your working relationship with him moving forward?
I don't mind talking about it, David, or I wouldn't come out. I think Tom and I have a very good working relationship. And like I said, there's a number of decisions that have to be made, sometimes in a day. But over the course of the year, there's a lot of decisions that are made. And I guess I'll repeat myself, but whether it's free agency, draft, trades, any type of personnel decisions within the organization and on our team, and we communicate as far as those type of things on a daily basis, sometimes several times a day. So again, we're not always going to agree on everything, but at the end of the day, I think we both have the best interest of the Bulls moving forward is what our goal is, and we unite and we move forward.
Gar, is getting Nazir Mohammed back a priority, and do you think that is something that could happen in this moratorium period?
He's a guy we would like to have back. Really like Nazir. I think, first of all, it's good to have veterans like Nazir that have been around the league, that understand what it takes to be successful. I think he's great in our locker room. I think he's great on the practice floor. And I think he was very good in games, especially late in the year. It just gives you a veteran inside presence. We've talked to Nazir, and I think we're optimistic that he'll return.
Gar, with Marco, is it kind of a similar situation with Steve, where you kind of just have to wait to see what the market bears for him?
Same thing. I mean, obviously, we reached out to Marco and his representatives right away. We've got interest in talking to him about coming back, and similar. I think he needs to get a feel what the market is, as do we.